don't you ask me?
Well, first of all, I want to compliment your new PTR. Every day it's getting better. And this is the question I want to ask you. Can you define the variables on Clubhouse in terms of word or communication game theory? Thank you.
Let me think about it. I don't want to just blurt out an answer.
For people on stage or in the audience who may not understand what I'm asking when I say a variable on this app, one could be your PTR. So how many more variables are there on this app? Thank you for consideration of the question I am asking.
Would you agree, Congressman Kitover, that the name Roger Mayhem and the PTR, the classic Roger Mayhem, had more to do with my, I don't know, communication, connecting with larger groups of people than any of the ideas that I ever shared? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's something to be said about the right name and the right PTR. I think bio is unimportant because you can have no bio, or you can have. Remember the old long bios? Do you guys remember those where people would tell you their life fucking story?
No, I feel called out.
Yeah. That was crazy. People would tell you every fucking trial and tribulation of their fucking life. It was amazing. A lot of people doxed themselves during that era. It was amazing. Monica, do you recall a room in which my microphone stopped working and I couldn't figure out if it was the app or my phone, and you helped me sort that out? Do you remember that?
Recently?
No, this was a long time ago. This was years ago. No?
I'm going to trust your memory.
Okay. Anyways, the microphone was not working. Actually, I'll back channel you the relevance of why I'm bringing it up. I just thought that, never mind. I won't mention the rest of it. I'll back channel.
Oh my gosh, what a cliffhanger.
Oh no.
Can I just say something about a former speaker that, this app and listening to conversations.
You mean Rich?
Yes.
You mean Rich?
Yes. Listening to people have uncomfortable conversations makes me physically and emotionally uncomfortable. And so when I open up my Bible flashcards and I read them, I am forcing a positive neurolinguistic program through my system straight to you through a social audio app. And I'm just saying that the power to choose that versus having heated conversations which solve nothing other than create emotional turmoil, to me, is a lack of wisdom. But that's my opinion, and I'm just asking you if you think you might agree.
Well, let me ask you this. Were you convinced that of the love of Jesus when Rich was harping on homosexuality? Did that bring you closer to Christ?
Well, no, because he is just another guy on a social audio chat app giving his opinion. I know if I want the source, all I have to do is go to the material and contemplate it myself. And, it's not... See, people's opinions here are not true. Silence is a far greater truth than anybody's opinion words that they, information exchange on this app.
Yeah, bars.
I was just called a Nazi in the back channel.
By who? She's always recognized these funny things, but Monica's always catching heat everywhere.
Y'all, I was just called a Nazi in the back channel. Y'all, somebody called me racist. It's okay, it's only Rich. The Christian.
So let me
Why
ask...
did he think you were being a Nazi? What was his evidence of you being a Nazi?
pressed him. I moved him down so people could talk.
Invited him up and he declined.
I did.
And the Jesus lover called you a Nazi.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
I would just like to reiterate that Jesus lovers are sinners too.
True.
Yeah.
You know, I was accused of being a Taoist by Rich, and I'm just asking, are there Christians here who think that Jesus also may have been a Taoist?
Or a Buddhist. It's funny about those life after death, right? And they come back, the ones that come back. And so many times when they talk, when they experience their experiences, for the most part, they run into either loved ones from the past that have passed on, or they run into angels or ones that are to explain some things and answer questions. And they've said plenty of times that they felt a love so much so that they didn't want to come back. They felt so much love that they didn't want to come back. And that one person I heard, he said that the love he experienced isn't on earth. So as a goal, right, one might have for themselves to develop that love within themselves to impress upon on others that they've never experienced that love before. That would be an amazing goal for Rich.
Well, I just want to ask one more question about, is there a purpose to this room tonight? And I'm looking at the title now. It says, what is the key to happiness? And to me, reading is truly far more joyful than listening to heated conversations on a social audio chat app. But I'm just asking, if you agree, because that's my opinion.
I want to read to you a ChatGPT response. I had asked, what would Jesus say about people condemning homosexuals as they're leading to a conversation? And what ChatGPT says is that challenge sin after a connection is made. You should lead with relationship and dignity rather than condemnation. And then it references John 4, Samaritan woman at the well, and Luke 19, Zacharias. And then it says that you don't want to drive the person away. Pretty much the same thing I just told Rich. And then it references John 8, 10 to 11, where it says, woman caught in adultery, neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin. So it very specifically says that you should not condemn them. Even if you are going to point out their sin, it shouldn't be in condemnation. It should just be an FYI.
Yeah, it's interesting. I also took the time to ask him to Grok, did Jesus say anything about homosexuality? And they say that the New Testament doesn't record any direct statements from Jesus specifically addressing homosexuality.
Correct. I actually put that in the chat to you, Nico, too, that you were right about that. Paul was the one that addressed sexual immorality. Jesus Christ, in fact, the only thing he condemned was adultery. I don't know, like I said, Jesus lovers are sinners too, and you see Rick's response a lot, particularly on this app. Even in the Christian groups, you go in there and they can be a little, well, let's just say they don't lead with humility and compassion, which I think if you want to make a connection with somebody, if you want to make an impression with somebody, you do have to establish that relationship first. You have to meet them where they're at. That's what Jesus did time and time again. He went and met them where they were at. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was going to say it earlier, but, like, to me, like, I've said before, it's like, my main issue is, like, people who want to, like, legislate law against, the rights of, gay people. I mean, if you people are personally against gay marriage. I mean, that's just a personal opinion, and no, it has anything to do about personal opinion. But who gives a shit, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, that's really, to me, is the issue mainly is because you have. It's one of the things, like I said, conservatives. The main issue I have is not the issues that are mostly the ones where they go against their own idea of choice and of freedom, and when it comes to things like gay marriage, or when it comes to things like just any other issue that has to do with like personal choice, they try to impose their own morality, and that's when they really begin to lose me. So.
I put in the chat, joy is now. If you want to push it on social audio app, you are wasting your precious energy and personal joy of being in your now. Then I wrote, the problem with this app is the speakers think they can speak for Jesus, and the conflict or debate is a linguistic one-up. Truth would be silence and prayer or asking Jesus for wisdom from his source book.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting though. It's like the only reason I talk about why Jesus said is because the objection that people make in regards to things like gay marriage is talking about what Jesus said, and Jesus was way more explicit about divorce and about greed than he was about gay marriage, and yet divorce. I mean, the Bible Belt is also called the divorce belt, but people are not as concerned about getting rid of divorce for people who are abusing it as they are about gay marriage, and that's the only reason why I bring it up usually.
Do you think there's a problem with people wanting to have contiguous conversation where if your last word is gay, do you think it forces the conversation down a road which unfortunately can't be stopped because people are, mimetically connected, linguistically connected to essentially have no juxtaposition or, stoppage in the flow of the thought? And if you do that, you're considered, rude or a bad or, less than eloquent speaker.
Sorry.
Where did Monica go?
I think you
Talk to Rich.
I think you're chasing her off with all your flattery.
Roger, you sound like a 16-year-old.
Roger, in a room a couple weeks ago, you let slip a secret about a game you're playing on this app with regards to Monica. I'm just wondering how many people in this room are aware of that game rule.
It's not exactly a game, but I've told her very directly that it's very fun to have her in the room because she brings a quality that I don't know. Some people like to say that I think she's misunderstood. People like to critique her, and it's easy to gather the haters. And so yes, she's well aware, by the way, of the fact that I find value in multiple ways of having her in the room.
The rule or the trick that you said you're playing on everybody, or the game that you're playing, and now this is not a negative game you're playing, so I don't want to concern anyone in the room. What I'm just saying is that game you're playing if you were to do that game with everybody, it would yield tremendous results for you personally. Don't you agree? Instead, most people are in terrible conflict with people all the time. Road ragers.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we should be reaching out to more people on this app, pulling them into the conversation, and trying to have more genuine conversations. I know that you believe that these conversations are a waste of time, but I think there's something that's happening here that we can't really put our finger on. Maybe it's going to pay dividends later. I feel like this app is changing our hearts and our minds. You probably disagree with me.
No, I do believe in a herd psychology on this app, and conditioning is very powerful on this app. When I created the alternative Mojo account or alternative Roger Mayhem account, the conditioning and the response to my presence, was so much fun. So I'm just saying on here you have conditioned people, but on X and other platforms they have yet to have experienced the Mojo experience or the Mojo conditioning.
Yeah, maybe we should expand this stuff too. I want to start doing rooms at the same time that Gary Bumgarner does his rooms, and we'll come up with a name that's the opposite of the critical thinking forum, but we'll just have a little bit of a flavor, and we'll just top it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, though. The main reason I put family as the answer is because, having a good mother is a good key to happiness. So.
Well, a lot of people who do not have good mothers or have had terrible conflict with their mothers. My mother has had terrible conflict with her mother, but to me, if you don't use books to essentially rationalize and transcend above a lot of like conditioning or inappropriate behavior or abuse, things like that, to me that's the superior way to essentially improve your life and recondition yourself for joy and success and health and wealth and love.
But John, what do you think of the argument that some people are afraid to read because it might change their mind and they don't want it changed?
Well, see, if we were to compare that attitude to the average speaker on this app, I was talking to El Normo a couple days ago, and I've thought this before that the demonstration that I made of reading those Bible flashcards is me showing you, not telling you, and a lot of people are just tellers; they're not showers. So it is a little subjective, objective, where your interpretation is going to conflict with my interpretation or my understanding and comprehension. And we use terms.
What do you mean you were showing? You were speaking. What do you mean you were showing?
So I could send you the video of me reading that. It's a clip on YouTube. So it's a program. It is a linguistic condition, of wisdom. The point is wisdom is supreme. So if you communicate wisdom and even if you force it, it's still better than having endless conversations and heated debates on a social audio chat app. It's just obvious. It's books. It's the book club.
Didn't answer my question.
Well, I'm trying to show you basically A versus B. And you may not think I answered your question. That's because you just didn't enjoy my response. But that's, not a me problem.
No, not at all. That's not what it is. When you show somebody, right? Okay. So
what I'm trying to say is Rich, the best. I texted him. He texts me and calls me. He called me maybe 10 times yesterday. He just, he's the dopamine creation from this medical device technology company known as
Wait till he calls you about what happened today.
Well, no, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that, some people can't let it go, but if you were to just read Bible flashcards, it resolves all conflicts. To come on here and have nonstop conflicts is not good usage of your brain. It's not smart. It's not intelligent. It's not wise.
Well, we agree about that.
I have been.
Since it's the title of the room, can I share some love of Jesus?
Oh, do
Please
so.
do. You shared your other type of love last time.
Right? It's going to seem very oxymoronic. Okay, so I was a good Christian. I was raised in a Christian home from birth. I went to a private school. And faith I had a very childlike faith. It came very, very easy for me. Call it the influence of my parents, my church, whatever. It just came very, very easy for me. And I was very content to have my happy little relationship with Jesus and know all my childhood Bible stories and sing my hymns on Sundays. And pretty much throughout my entire childhood into my early adult life. And back in 2004, my sister lost her husband and her 3-year-old son and her 8-month-old daughter in a car accident. And I was very, very angry. It was my first crisis in faith. I was really, really ticked off at God. I couldn't understand how he could take her every reason for living away from her. I feared that she committed suicide, like all the worst things in the world. And I can remember being at the funeral, and the pastor from our church came to pay his respects. And, he comes up and he gives me the hug, and, if there's anything we can do for you guys, please let us know, blah, blah, blah. And when he hugged me, I whispered into his ear, I said, look at that coffin. I said, you look at that man holding 2 babies, and you tell me how a merciful God could do something like this. I was really angry. And a little while later, they put us in this little holding room before they walked the family out for the funeral procession. And I just remember thinking, I got to get my sister through this day, and then just one day at a time. I was really, really scared for her. And I remember they brought my sister in to that room right before they were going to walk us out. And I walked across that room thinking, I just got to hold her up. I just got to get her through this day, And I went over there and I put my arm around her. And the Bible has a verse about a peace that surpasses all understanding. And I would never be able to articulate this in a way that you could understand. But in that instance, I physically felt the presence of the Holy Spirit wrapped around us. And after spending 7 days furious at God and questioning everything, I just knew that we were going to be okay. I didn't know how, but I knew that we were going to be okay. I physically felt his presence, and I know that sounds crazy, and I know that this is anecdotal. This isn't for the purposes of persuading anybody, but here's the thing. It always stuck with me. You don't experience something like that, and it not this profoundly change you. And it did profoundly change me. I suddenly became a reader and a studier of the Word, and just wanting to understand everything in the Bible. And then 20 years later, I wake up one Sunday morning and I hear a nebulizer in the bathroom going, and the light's on, and my husband's not in bed, and I go to open that bathroom door, and literally the instant before I turned that doorknob and opened that door, I felt that same presence, and without having any, my husband was not sick. He died from an asthma attack. But I knew before I opened that door that my husband was gone. And fair enough, he was, but it was the exact same physical presence, and just
I've got you, and this is going to be okay. And like, I knew, so like, that's what the love of Jesus means, is when you are not strong enough to carry on, when you are not capable of carrying those burdens anymore, he's there to take them for you. And there's my little story.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm so happy for you, Serendipity. I'm so happy for you. That's yeah, right? Like that you can get through all that and have that real for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can face anything, And good, you want to say something just really badly right now?
No, you can finish. I just, I'll let you stay on this. No, mine's is different from what you guys are talking about, so.
It's look, it's no, because what she said, look, until you experience something that can appear at face value so tragic, right? These things could happen to any of us, right? So for her to have that, her heart being able to be touched that way, to keep her moving through life with that knowingness is really special. It's something.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I posted in the chat a video of, it was an old video, I always remember. It was a minister who punched a kid for Jesus, and it's just so hilarious, him being proud of punching a kid. And I, it's just funny because he literally says to the kid after he punched him, "What are you going to stop playing games with God?" And he said,
Yeah. I do want to ask a question about homosexuality, if I may, Mr. Mojo. Serendipity, if you could field this question as moderator. It's my belief and opinion that the crucifix symbolically represents a horizontal line and a vertical line. The vertical line would represent what we call the phallus, or maybe the Holy Spirit, or man. And the horizontal line might be represented as a woman. So it would be two genders, man and woman. That's the symbolic, metaphoric opinion that I have about the crucifix. So I'm just asking, if the Bible says, two men having sexual relations is frowned upon, do you think it is the destruction of that beautiful crucifix?
No.
See what she, John, see what she expressed, right? There's no logic. That's the supernatural.
No, that's occult symbolism. It's metaphor.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm wrong when I say it's my opinion that it's a metaphor, but I'm just saying that if you break that sacred symbol by having same-sex relations, metaphorically, maybe astrologically, numerically, you are violating what you might call a natural law.
But that's what I was talking about, Rich. That's all in your idea of what it is. That's your idea of what it is. Serendipity actually experienced something supernatural, something godly, Jesus, right? She experienced that. That's not an idea. It's beyond logic.
Well, the thing about Jesus is, did he have an unfair advantage? And the question that I ask you is, do you have an unfair advantage?
It's a choice, right? It's a choice to have an unfair advantage. But you have to first become that.
It's always a choice. I mean, every circumstance of life throws at you. The only thing you have control over is how you're going to choose to respond to it.
Yes. No, it's like, the best. You have guys like Ray Comfort who say that I have a choice as to whether I accept the thing as evidence that God is real.
I'd say serendipity that you became something big before Jesus showed up, or you follow me, like, or the first event propelled you into a different way of looking at life, and that made you open for that. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know, you don't go through that kind of grief, and I don't think it does not have a profound impact on how you look at life, you know? And honestly, losing my husband all those years later, that was a whole nother kind of grief. It was very different from the first time around. But, I mean, I learned some important things, you know? I watched my sister struggle with alcoholism for a little while. And so, you know, my husband and I, we were never really big drinkers. We were kind of like bit drinkers, I guess. 2 years, 4th of July, that kind of thing. But we were never, we didn't drink a whole lot. But I saw my sister prey to alcoholism. And so, like, I just made that conscientious choice. I was like, the night of the session, I'm going to get like girl wasted. And then I'm not going to drink for the first year. And I didn't, because at the time I had a 12-year-old little girl who was still at home, and she was watching me to figure out how to navigate this grief. And I didn't want the loss of her daddy, who was her favorite person in the whole wide world, to be a crutch or a reason why he didn't go after what she wanted, you know, because he would have never wanted that for her. So, you know, I had to make a lot of choices about how I was going to choose to respond to it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely more hope that I could have offered a few years ago, where it's like, because, you know, I couldn't offer much hope to religious when they asked me, what do I believe happens when you die? Because I just simply would say, you rot, become fertilizer.
So I'd just like to point the room to the Attention Happiness Survey. What is the key to happiness? Is it your health? Is it your wealth? Is it your family? Or is nobody really happy? We have 34% believe that health. Family is number one at 38%. Health again, 34. Nobody's really happy at 23, and wealth at 7. If you're a new speaker in the room and you want to come up in the muff and come learn the love of Jesus.
Yeah. I wonder, like, when, Mojo, when you say nobody's really happy, if you mean it the same way, like when you say that altruism really doesn't exist, like the appearance of it does, but like...
It's fleeting. It's temporary. There's a reason why we say pursuit of happiness. If you caught it, you wouldn't know what to do with it.
See, Necro, I think that, you know, I met this really hot attorney once, and she's sitting in my car, and she's telling me about her work problems, and she says, I feel like the problem is people ask questions. And I thought that was so funny and so profound, because I'm pretty sure she kind of knew what, like, I know, meaning that all the anxiety in the world isn't going to change the future, but the now is all important. So, you know, there was something else I was going to tell you, but anyways, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminds me of what my boss told me today. What I ever tell you is like, he's like, questions are danger to you and a burden to others.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, questions are a danger to you and a burden to others.
So if family is number one, you know, the Hebrew term is Elohim, which is divine family. So, I mean, it's not just Jesus, right? I mean, supposedly God the Father, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. You know, Mojo, let me ask you a question. Do you think that the universe, and I'm talking about the infinite universe, is that technically almost like a machine or some type of god, you might say? Does it take the whole thing to have Earth and this cell phone conversation right now? Is it all one? And is that not the true definition of God, which is ONE?
It's an interesting question, and I don't fucking know the answer. I don't think anybody does, but what I'm leaning towards, I can't prove this, but what seems compelling, or at least I like hearing about, is the idea that not only is the universe expanding, like, so you have the Big Bang and then expands, but then after it expands to a certain point, then it's going to bounce back, and it's going to come back, and then it's going to come in tight, and then it'll be another Big Bang. I think that there's a cyclical nature of the universe. This is what I believe. I genuinely believe this. I have nothing more than just the arguments that I've heard made for this resonate with me. It sounds the most plausible that matter explodes, and then the universe expands, and then it reaches its limit, and then it races back and pulls all back together, all matter, and then you have another Big Bang, and you repeat, rinse and repeat.
Don't you think it's interesting that when we communicate and discuss the Big Bang, many of these terms are sexual? I'm just saying there's no coincidences.
Yeah, it's all one. O-N-E.
So isn't like Neo, from the Matrix, basically that's the one. So if Jesus is, the Neo, I mean, these conversations have been happening on Clown House for so long, but they're not new. A lot of this philosophical, esoteric, psychedelic consciousness was settled in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, I've listened to countless Timothy Leary lectures, countless Alan Watts lectures. And India, this is the basis of the religion, basically the Big Bang, the Kali Yuga. So America's not unique in its religious philosophy, but in the Constitution, it does say in the year of our Lord. So they were Christians. I mean, Jesus was their guy. All I'm saying is there's a lot of different Jesuses throughout history. Osiris, all these things are like history regurgitated. And if you build up a library and you read a couple books, you're like, maybe it's not logical or wise for me to get in heated conversations about, wise men, wise women, wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, comprehension. I mean, just eat the meal. Read the book. But I mean, to waste your time, as a listener, it is so uncomfortable to process this stuff, and it's exhausting. And if you are the speaker distributing this exhausting conversation, it's got to be exhausting for you too. So it's not a one-up, it's not strategic, it's not wise. That's all I'm saying.
We need another poll, Mojo.
No, I'm going to post something. It is a new house that is forming that you guys are going to be very excited about.
I kind of politely see religious rooms is like what the world would be better if more people acted more like Jesus. Because I would like to know what people's reasoning would be, why they would disagree with that.
Well, if they're acting anything like Rich, Raj, you think if he woke up tomorrow, you think he'd wake up as a different person? What do you think it is? He'd wake up and come in and, you guys were right. I'm so sorry. You think that's a possibility?
I just want to say hi to Dawn.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi, Nicole. Yes. Everybody, hello.
So in Hebrew, ruach is breath, and in Latin it's spiritus. In Hindu or Sanskrit, it's pranayana. So to me, if you want the breath of life or the Holy Spirit, you gotta breathe. And guess what happens if you stop breathing?
He's another guy that might be good to have a YouTube channel. He's got a lot to talk about. You think about getting a YouTube channel, my friend?
You know, the only reason I would think to go back on the YouTube channel, I'm the guy.
Well, I'm talking to Congressman. No, that's
okay. Yeah, I'll let you. I believe he has a YouTube channel.
Nectar, why would you think that he was talking to you when he specifically called somebody else out by name?
I'm sorry, I'm not reading the comments. So, anyways,
multitasking. Oh, you already got a YouTube channel, huh? Congressman?
Yeah, I've been filming Clown House for close to 6 years, and if you just go through my shorts, you will see so many Clown House conversations that it's unbelievable how I've been able to transfer Clown House directly into YouTube, and the accounts are growing, and it's just fascinating, because I can only stay for like a couple seconds when I watch one of these clips of a YouTube clip of Clown House Run, but the amount that I have put up is truly mind-boggling. It's over 20,000.
Wow.
Across YouTube and Instagram. On YouTube, I think it's like near 10,000 plus, and Instagram is close to 10,000 too.
How about, well, here's the question. How many followers do you have? Subscribers?
I think like 2,000 across all the accounts.
You need to work on that. You need to work on that.
Oh, I'm working on it right now. Go to my profile, and then you can get my YouTube link to watch my YouTube account, and you can see Clown House in a retrospective recap. I'm a filmmaker. And
You're right.
I am projecting a future deal with Netflix after having spoken with the beautiful Abby, the world famous Sheldon Adelson lawyer from The Venetian. I hate to spread that gossip, but it's true. And she has introduced me to a Netflix executive who knew Adams. Anyways, I'm just kidding around, but yeah, that's my YouTube account. You're all on it. Every single one of you. America down there, Randy, Wallace even. Wallace barely speaks. Wallace is one of the best listeners on this app. We have had an awards ceremony, but I'm just wondering, if anybody that you know on this app has impressed you with their listening skills.
Alright, get ready for the link.
I just want to ask if anybody watched the video that I put in the link.
What was it?
It was the one about the pastor boasting that he punched a candidate into the board.
Ooh.
Okay, so I just posted a link above. This is the Rational Discussion Group. It's going to have rooms at the same time as the Critical Thinking Forum, and we'll use the same room titles that they use. Same time, and we'll just we're just going to basically recreate this, and without creating you will not have to download Facebook.
Yay!
Can we also do a segment in the Rational Discussion Group where we actually, cross-stream Gary's room? Just not the whole thing, but I'm just saying, can we do, snippets where as the super mod and you have sole editorial and, producer, etc., directed, can you say, I'm just saying, can you think every 15 minutes, let's do a Gary Baumgarten, love bomb for 60 seconds?
No, I don't think we're going to do that. But what we might be able to do is get a recording of the same topic, like give you like the best 5 minutes of his room, and then do like a recap show at the end of the week that does a comparative analysis of which room is better. But this room is going to be very serious. I just want to caution you. I'm not even going to be the lead moderator in here. Necro, you have to mute your mic. Weirdo. Jesus. This is going to be Anson and Steve Wee. These are kind of exiles that don't get treated properly in Gary's room. And so they don't like the fact that the Trump bashing, the constant Trump bashing. So Anson, who is a very, very interesting fella, he is going to lead these discussions. He's going to assume the Gary role, and I'm going to leave full creative control in Anson's hands. I'm just going to simply be there to kind of help co-host and co-promote. I will defer to his wisdom and let him run the room.
That'll be fun. Looking forward to it. I think he's a great speaker.
Yeah, and the fact that he's so agitated with the other room, it's going to be perfect.
Well, there are clicks on this app, and having had many accounts blocked and deleted because of some of these clicks, I just think that one of the reasons why they may dislike my presence or my activity so much is because my recordings, I think, in a way, document a tendency which is not complimentary. It's not positive, and I think I can prove it by asking them, if time travel was possible, was it worth it? And in hindsight, in retrospect, opportunity cost analysis, I think they would have to agree with my, prognosis, my analysis. It's just my opinion, but if all communication is projection, and I'm reverse engineering over here with my projection right now, I mean, it could be correct. It's just a hypothesis, and my opinion.
So, Congressman Kitover, if you had the ability to utilize software to go through all of these hours of recordings that you have and told it to sort by user and create a best of and a worst of for each user, just like maybe like a 4-minute clip of the best of, who do you think would be the most embarrassed to hear their worst of clip?
I could just give you a list of like the top 10 power users on here who I think would be very embarrassed with their demeanor, their tone, their just personality, and whether or not what they're saying is substantial or actually qualitative or no quantitative type of analysis, and what they say. And I hate to say it, but there are some, I mean, I could give you a list of the top 10 offenders that if you were to sit there and listen to that, this is to me, because I have listened to so much of this, I think I have to like retreat into deep meditation, because 5 years of recording, like I've really implanted it in my brain, and I feel like that's kind of a cop out, but.
So who are some people that if it got out there, if let's just say it went viral and you had hundreds of millions of people viewing it, who would be the most embarrassed to hearing their own takes widely distributed?
You're the devil, Ross.
Maybe it's best that I not say anyone, because I have recorded so much. It's up to you, the fan, the critic of my work, to actually go to my YouTube and maybe spend 30 minutes looking at it, because if you don't go to youtube.com/@John_Kitover_Congressman and at least try to find yourself, you're missing out on the fun. I have done a lot of work for you, and Mojo here has confirmed that this valuable service at no cost to you will give you maybe even more dopamine than what you get here.
John, how long? When did you go there? Were you in the beginning?
Yeah, I think November or December of 2019.
Wow. Yeah, I was right there, right after you. Wow.
You mean 2020?
No, 2019.
Started.
No, he was one, early one.
Well, hold on, but in 2019 November, it wasn't even Clubhouse. It was Talk Desk.
Well, I know my best memory of this time
Talk show.
is March of 2020 because of the pandemic, and they shut down all the bars in Chicago on St. Patty's Day. And I'm pretty sure before that, I was using it, going into like December of that winter because I bought a building in December of 2019. And when I got into this building, even prior to that, in my old apartment, my friend Todd, who got me on this app, who owns marijuanadelivery.com, because I sold him marijuanabusiness.com, that was my invite. And he was like, "You got to get on here. I'm literally talking to Elon Musk. I'm listening to Elon Musk." I was like, "Oh my God." So he sent me the invite. First, there was a problem with getting that invite from him. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this is like an EOD or a start date.
I think you're talking about 2020 though, because the Elon appearance was right around the end of 2020.
Yeah, it was in 2020.
Well, when did the pandemic?
You're a year off.
Didn't the?
Well, so it depends on what you mean by when was the pandemic.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah. So the lockdowns started coming, during 2020.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyways, it would be impressive if you were on here in 2019. It's not that it didn't exist; it just didn't exist as Clubhouse. It was Talk Show.
So, John, you found how about this character that got that black mark one? Got that warning plenty of times. Name the top 3 people that got. What was that black thing that they used to get when they get warnings from Clubhouse? What was that? Like a black mark, right?
The black badge.
Black badge.
Yeah.
That basically meant that 5 people that you were following have that person blocked.
Right. Well, there were. Raj, did you have that? Raj, you have that.
It's unique to the person. So a black badge isn't just visible to anyone. It was specific to the people that you follow. If a minimum of 5 of the people that you follow have somebody blocked, then when you go to that person's profile, it would show you the black badge. It might show somebody else not the black badge because the people they're following might not have it blocked.
But it wasn't wasn't Clubhouse giving something like that as a warning? It wasn't just followers. It was that you got a warning. I'm not saying you specifically, but someone on Clubhouse would get that direct.
No, the black badge was simply a signal giving you a social clue that your friends are saying that this person is bad.
Because this guy, you remember the guy, right? He had that business room with all the freaks in there, claiming this and that.
JT Fox or 10K Cards?
Yeah, that guy. So Congressman John, you got a lot of clips of that guy, right? Because he
No, I don't have any clips of JT Fox when he was on this app.
I knew it. I knew he wasn't that. For some reason, I said,
see, I've upgraded my filming techniques to use like a lot of tripods, and this is actually more new than compared to what I was doing, was just filming myself interacting with Clownhouse. Now I'm actually filming the screen on a primary cell phone, using an anonymous account, talking to you on a different account. So like my streaming technique has significantly been upgraded and improved. And today I filmed Politically Correct for, 8 hours. Then I filmed Amir's room for a couple hours. Then I'm in here filming. So it's like, this is a lot of fun, but the time that I spent reading the Constitution yesterday across 12 different phones and uploading 120 videos that got 10,000 views, that to me was more personally beneficial than listening to people argue on here about, and die on a hill over some topic.
I think Mojo has a point, and the success of you getting more followers, right? He was saying, get the clips in the top 3 or something like this, right? Right, I think that's more appealing. Because when you start to speak about these 20,000, nobody's going to go and listen to all those. So I think you need to find a way.
Well, I don't think what he needs to do is anything. I think he's already done the service of recording all this. I think someone else should take on a passion project to do something with it and make it actionable and more sortable.
That's what I mean, exactly. What do you think of that? Right, Congress? You need to try
Well,
something.
I've spent the past 48 hours fully updating every single YouTube profile. There's over 30 YouTube profiles now that are filming and publishing regularly Clubhouse videos. Many videos after you live stream go to private, so you have to build up a queue and then mass change visibility from private to public. And then I have to add those videos to playlists, and then I have to update the description. So none of the titles are dynamic. If you went into every video and looked who the main primary speakers were and put that in a title, you could build a better searchable, index in YouTube. People can file privacy complaints against my work, and if I don't, I have to delete it. Like, YouTube has basically a 0% tolerance policy for complaints. And I've had many YouTube accounts get deleted with thousands of videos and years of work. That is very demoralizing. But in every war you lose a pawn. So it is a fun game, but I do think this is just like a linguistic game, and you're all involved in it, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying, Roger. Finding someone to make a passion project to make these clips. Not everyone, but the top whatever 20, 30, 40. More likely that people will want to click on it. What do you think of that?
To me, the quality sucks. Like, I'm looking at 15 phones filming this room right now, and it's like, if I was on the receiving end of my live stream, and right now I see no one from this room is actually looking at my live stream, you could give me real-time feedback, but most people don't live in the now.
Yeah, I think that what is needed is somebody that can go through the archives of video with software that can and then go like just, you got to know what you're looking for, and let's say you just came up with, let's say you want to start with one person. That way you can prove it out. You could just say, okay, I'm going to use the software. I'm going to go through all these videos, and I'm going to find the clips of when this person's speaking, and then find, sort it by topic maybe, or just go find the interesting moments, and then you could do like a best of type of video. And then once you did it for one, you could start building. Then you do another one, get it up to let's say a top 10, and then you could have videos of the Clubhouse top 10, and then the best of, and then boom, 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 and then
Monica's greatest hits.
Yeah, correct. Or I would say Monica's greatest hits, but.
See, I don't know if you've interacted with my profiles enough. Like, you're going to have to spend time and go through all my YouTubes, because every YouTube's a little different.
No, nobody has time for that.
Well, see, this is the thing.
John, what I'm saying is I want AI to come through with you give a prompt for what it wants to look for.
So,
and then
well, see, anyways, I'm just saying this is like a short-term dopamine solution. I'm not saying that this is some kind of long-term venture, or this is just mere entertainment for short-term fun. So what I'm trying to say is, in YouTube, the way that I use it is I create shorts, which are either 15 seconds or 3 minutes. Those are generally heated conversations when I'm sitting here monitoring and then creating a short. Those are highly edited already. And then the other thing is, when you are live streaming, you can hit what's called a cut. That gives you either a 45-second or a 5-minute cut from the past 5 minutes. I usually cut a lot of rooms after the heated conversation dies down, because it does flow like a pattern, and there are peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys. And so I'm pretty mindful when I'm here, like, okay, that was a good cut. And I go across all the phones and create the cut. So there's so many videos. It's like 10,000, 20,000 videos on YouTube.
So why haven't you turned this into? What's the end game? Is it a Clubhouse series with various seasons?
No, I am running for Congress. So all publicity is good publicity and communication, meaning that I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm creating a media business on top of trying to get into Congress. So it's all connected. But the thing is,
But wait, how is Clubhouse connected to your campaign and your political?
because you're Americans talking about bullshit. You know, as a leader or a congressperson, you got to have intelligence, and this app proves that there's no intelligence on this app. And so, you know what that indicates? That indicates that probably 80% of Congress is completely incompetent, and there's no real intelligence there or patriotism. Now, you may think patriotism is a mental health disorder to a Democrat or a communist or an anarchist, but to a patriot, you know, the Tao Te Ching says that patriots will rise up in times of emergency. If you don't think $1 trillion in interest annually and, you know, spending $20 billion an hour is insanity, you need to understand optimization and economics. And, you know, Mojo here is an enthusiast of the Mises Institute and other brilliant economists who understand that you can't have a black card and just keep charging it up and, you know, as if reality doesn't exist. And plus, oof, there's just a big moral and ethical and DEI problem across. Have you seen some of the judges, you know, that are being relieved of? Anyways, I'm just saying, clown world is real, and I'm sick of it. I am complete.
We have a new title for the room. By the way, if you guys haven't joined the Rational Discussion Group, the link is up above. Thank you. The Rational Discussion Group should not be confused with the Critical Thinking Forum.
What do you think is more fun, having news debates and news conversations, or just having, you know, non-news debates and conversations? And, you know,
I think the debates with people like that are trying to really sell you on the idea of anarchy are fun. I think when somebody takes a really wacky position and they just dig in and they just refuse to yield, no matter how silly they sound, I think those are the funnest conversations.
Yeah, I tried to join now, so for some reason I can't join.
Do you have anyone in mind, Moj?
What do you mean?
Well, it's like you were thinking about someone while you were talking about that. I
was just kind of throwing it out there. If that caused you to picture somebody in your mind, that's a you thing, not a me thing. So, Necro, what's the message you got when you tried to join?
It just says like it's a red bar up on the top of the screen. It just says you can't join this house.
That usually means you have an admin has some blocked.
Oh, that means either Anson or Steve Wee have you blocked.
You can unadd your add to the house and then re-admin them.
What did I do to piss those people off?
I don't know. Probably your insistence on older women probably creeped them out.
Me and my weird fantasies.
For Steve to block you, you must be a douche.
I mean, Steve gave me Casa de Papel literally today. He gave me, power there, so.
Oh, it's you? You're blocked, Necro?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh my god. Oh, you're not.
Yeah, it's like Casa de Papel. He gave me the golden key to his house today, so I'd be surprised if he has me blocked.
Well, you've got the wrong Steve. I'm referring to Steve Wee. You're referring to Steve Appel.
Gotcha.
But try now to join because I've removed them as admins. Let's just test this to see if it works.
Yeah. So getting the can't join the house.
That's weird.
Necro, log out and come back in and then try to join it.
to reset it.
Hi, moderators. I think I can maybe help answer this question you have in your title, but I would like to answer it by reading a quick little poem I wrote on my phone.
Yeah, it's still getting the same message.
Wow. Was he thrown out of the house? It's a brand new house.
Congressman.
Yeah, that's where. It is a brand new house, right, Roger?
Yep, it's brand new.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's
he just
brand,
made it.
it's brand new.
Yep.
Do you guys like the image on the house? I just created it with ChatGPT. I don't know if it's good or bad, or I'm open to new images for that house.
Yeah, I think it's good.
It works.
Actually, you should just use your profile, Mojo. You know, condition with the profile.
Yeah, Brandy.
Yeah, definitely stick to that
But zoom
profile.
up. But zoom right up to the cigar in your mouth.
Your PTR is proof that AI has increased significantly since your former iterative PTR.
John, if you do the poem, take your time, okay? Take your time.
Okay, this is the poem. Observe for yourselves the decay of the sense of sin, the growth of innocence and irresponsibility, the strange modifications of the reproductive instinct with a tendency to become bisexual or epicene, the childlike confidence in progress combined with nightmare fear of catastrophe against which we are yet half unwilling to take precautions. Consider the outcrop of dictatorships, only possible when moral growth is in its earliest stages, and the prevalence of infantile cults like communism, anarchists, fascists, pacifism, health crazes, occultism, and nearly all its forms, religions sentimentalized to the point of practical extinction. Consider the popularity of the cinema, the wireless, clubhouse, the football pools, and guessing competitions, all devices for soothing fractious infants, no seed of purpose in them. Consider sport, the babish enthusiasms and rages which it excites, whole nations disturbed by disputes between boys. Consider war, the atrocities which occur daily and leave us unmoved and hardly worried. We are children.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. You took your time. Took your time. That was
You certainly have a way with words, sir. Sir, I don't know if sometimes I don't know if you're serious or if you're trolling. It doesn't matter. I find you to be a fascinating human. If this so-called political career doesn't pan out, I hope you consider getting into fiction, the world of fiction and nonfiction. At the very least, I hope you have a documentary crew following you around, sir.
Wait, hold on.
A subject and a character.
Oh, John, could you tell them about your plans with Never Ending Story? John? Congressman?
He just jumped out the window. What happened? That was his last poem. I'm the last dragon. That's the last poet. I'm just joking.
I used rock imagine and I said use some images for rational discussion.
So, but here's the thing. Never Ending Story is one of my faves, so I can't wait to hear what his idea is. Imagine this man is at a loss for words now. He can't even speak. What's going on, Congressman?
So, sorry if I stepped away. It's because I went to the kitchen. But yeah, you can always go on my YouTube Live to see if I'm in my office. What did you ask?
Wow. So you have cameras set up in all throughout your house watching you?
John, can you describe to them what you were going to do with the Never Ending Story?
Yeah, my sister and I were big fans of that film, and I looked up the German book, and I've been to a lot of Broadways, and I was an actor in junior high. I played Franklin Delano Roosevelt in my 8th grade play when I was only a 7th grader. But anyways, so I've been to Manhattan, and I've been to shows. I'm just like, man, if you could see the Never Ending Story in Broadway, like, wow. I mean, that would be a long run, like. And it would be amazing if, because I've seen all of those. I'm like, fucking Never Ending Story would be pretty easy based on, but it's not easy. I mean, The Lion King and all those things, they're all amazing, but Never Ending Story has enough characters and enough pre-built-in music and enough in that book to make an amazing, theatrical performance.
So a musical, a never-ending story musical.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
about
people
that
go to
either.
Wicked. You could play, The Witch in Wicked.
The green one, I hope.
Yeah, I think I saw it. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, I think that, it is so, it is so exhausting listening to heated conversations. So I hope Rational Discussion Group, because no matter what happens, every room essentially is like a sine wave. It's peaks and valleys, and so de-escalation it happens naturally. But I'm just saying that this is what communication is. It's yin and yang. It's the Tao.
Time out, you there?
Yeah, what's going on?
What do you think about this never-ending story, the musical, sir?
I didn't see the movie.
What?
Leave me alone.
My word, time out.
Yeah. I didn't see a lot of stuff. I left Hollywood behind. When I left, I left. Yeah.
I saw a Chinese production called Shenyun. And guess who funds Shenyun? It's the Epoch Times, which is an anti-Chinese, Gazette newspaper, and they published a lot of stuff on RussiaGate and all kinds of other things. A lot of investigative journalism, and they're an independent news agency. They are part of what's called the Falun Dafa. And they basically do Tai Chi outside of federal offices all the time, and they're very pleasant people.
And don't they also go to like fairs and farmers markets and advertise this shit?
Yeah, it's called Falun Gong, and it is a Chinese dissident movement which feels that they were murdered and butchered by the communists, which is true. And these people have serious grievance, but they do it so peacefully and so blissfully that you would think that their grandparents were never murdered. You could call those people anarchists in a way. See, that's why I think listening to people's bad ideas and hearing how anarchistic they are, how essentially it's based on violence or disruption as opposed to optimization. It is a breaking as opposed to a fixing and amending or a healing. So if you want to have real rational discussion group, essentially it is a psychotherapeutic group which does healing work, meditation work. But you could claim all communication is meditation. But to me, all pleasant communication, is the desired state. And as a moderator, because you have that ability to censor, I think, a lot of the problems on this app is not just the speakers, but it's the lack of leadership or moderation, which wants to hear the bang. And, the bang is an epidemic in society. People are on this app road raging. And if they're road raging here, that means that there is a lot of built up anger in society that can explode at any moment. I saw a car accident today. One of the guys in the car got out to beat the shit out of that other guy. And, road rage kills.
Congressman, let me ask you something real quick. Do you think your social experiment with Clubhouse and your opinion of Clubhouse users and how you use that to, I don't know, navigate this app, tap into rooms, record, etc., is a form of anarchy?
No, because I'm actually agnostic as to every single speaker because I want to like flush my memory of it. And so basically, I don't even want to have the same conversation twice. Filming a lot of conversations basically limit, you don't want to do redundancy in your communication anymore. So to me, the videos that I've created of people speaking, it's gone from my memory. And so, but I just use that as a basis of comparison as opposed to looking around my room and seeing, 1,000 books that I would rather put that information into my brain than have meaningless, endless discourse and rhetoric on this app. But see, the thing is, I wish I could clone myself so I could continue filming it all and like disassociate completely and, charge ahead as a congressman and just read more books, be more. I've done all this for many years. I'm just trying to say that if I'm really running for Congress, so it's like to not have basically a daily to-do list and actually executing. Like today, I got the bank account open. The banker finally opened the stupid campaign to elect John Kitover account. It took her a month. But, I can start fundraising very soon. So I've had some press on X. I had a big, interview / debate conversation on X with a lot of locals who are interested in GOP politics in the Chicagoland area. So it's just a daily thing. I like it because it's fun. It's content creation. And I think, what's crazy is when you work in the federal government, you can't necessarily do social media. Some people get away with it somehow. People in high up positions in government, then they censor they'll delete their LinkedIn. People post crazy shit that are high up in the government or the military. And my point is that AOC and Mom Donnie, and countless others who are making a lot of money and sending out a lot of checks and voting out a lot of acts and passing $1 trillion bills. These people are basically social media content creators and spammers. Their intelligence, their position, it's almost all DEI. It's not really based on economic intelligence, philosophy, ethics, or morals. It's more based on branding, modern marketing, that type of communication. So, I have to.
Would you say that PTRs are communication?
Yeah, 100%. It's a conditioning, and I really experienced it.
Take a look at mine.
Oh no, I kind of like the white one, to tell you the truth. That one was, yeah. This one is good too. Actually, there's no bad.
I was told by Issa that I need to have a broader chest, more muscles. So this is what ChatGPT gave me. You should do an Arab on muscle, and then they'll really come get you.
This is one other suggestion I have for this app, because it might not last forever, but I think an interactive real life experience where you have an auditorium, you sell tickets, and then essentially you live stream Clown House to the audience. And then, basically it's like being a modern day Mozart or director producer. You are literally showing people the insanity of this neural network that's happening in this app and all the communications. And people would just watch this. They might laugh. They might, walk out. But I'm just saying that to film that interactive experience would be like one higher level of what I'm doing now. Maybe it's too much, but it would be fun to do. I just feel like it's a lot of organizing. I don't necessarily want to do it, but I think that would be an awesome film. And I would watch that. I would love to see people experience Clubhouse in a movie theater. I mean, this app doesn't publish anything. Have you seen their X account? It's like a debt. They don't market anything. It's just empty social media platforms. They don't publish anything. Like they have their town hall whenever. I mean, I'm just saying that there's no way that this app can really go forward, or maybe even maybe it'll get acquired. But when you hear Paul and Rohan. Not Rohan. Who's the security enforcer with the mohawk? What's that guy's name?
Joe.
Joe Armenia or whatever his name is. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that.
We call him Faggot Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he has deleted a lot of accounts, and I've seen him pop in rooms and like sit in the audience and listen. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, but like, how is it that the people who own this app and supposedly work on it day to day, like, don't actually use the app? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I'm sure you got that old documented, right? With the whole fall of Clubhouse and all the shenanigans that happened. That was really disappointing, really disappointing. But being an actor and being in Hollywood for a while, back and forth when I was much younger, and seeing how those people act out there, when I came back and during the pandemic and I'd get on Clubhouse, it was the same kind of people. The same kind of people.
PTR.
Okay, yeah. That will laugh and smile and something else will go. Let's it's the same one.
You know, we went till 5 o'clock last night.
Nope, it's not the same one. It went from a tan suit to a white suit. It was a little off-white in the last one. Now it's more snow white.
Mojo, do you realize last night was the first room I ever went to bed where the sun was up when I was done using this stupid app, and that was like at 5 something in the morning. I couldn't believe how long I was on this app yesterday.
That late? Yeah.
We were doing big things. This is when you know what got the room going was serendipity was telling us about her favorite sexual positions, and that's what kept her on.
After hours.
See, I mean, you know, in hindsight, like, I'm really happy I film all this stuff, and I hope people maybe someday in the future they're like, I think people will look back at their experience here. I might look back with shame, but see, the positive optimist in me, and who, you know, I hope, because this is like a very lazy business. You just hit live stream, you hit cut, you hit publish. I'm not doing anything. It's really the network that's involved in the conversation, but by publishing it, like, I force people into these other platforms, and like, whether you like it or not, like, you're in it. So to me, that's like forcing an arrangement which I can't do any other way, only digitally or through these cellular devices and these software programs. Like, that to me, like, you know, is going into. I'm 42, but I'm just saying, any kind of business where you're like in the gray zone, I don't, whatever that means. I'm just saying that to me, what I think I'm doing is, you know, eccentric. I wouldn't, you know, call it brilliant, and I wouldn't call it even intelligent. I would just say I'm using what's available. But I think because life is almost just brains, it's just people. Like, everything else, the whole material world is, you know, just stuff. But our little bodies don't take up a whole lot of space. So the fact that I can network in a different alternative way by publishing on many platforms, to me, it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm just doing it. I think it's smart, and I hope it has lasting effect of some sort.
Yeah, it's interesting because Clubhouse having people from all over the world, right? You're grabbing not just people that are Americans, you're grabbing all kinds of people from all over the place. So that's what's interesting about it. It's got so much depth there.
Yeah, I mean, if like the global communication revolution or global communication network means anything, like, this app is, you know, the case study for it, or X Spaces or other global apps. The thing is, though, I have noticed that many rooms with non-native English speakers who tend to dominate the conversation, it's a lot of fun using your words. It's like, it's basically an animal chirping or, you know, meowing or barking. I mean, you know, we do it for feedback, for pinging. So there's a lot of linguistic and communication, like, axioms or principles. You know, Noam Chomsky, I had this one book on phonology. To me, it looks like bullshit. You know, all these mathematical equations about linguistic communication, and like turning it into math. In hindsight, you know, I have my doubts about
people who put up these crazy math equations. And, maybe I know I'm stupid. Like, there are really intelligent people out there that truly understand these things and have vast vocabularies with regards to math. But I know I can't create a cell phone. I know I can't create a semiconductor. I know I can't build a house. I know that communication to me is the smartest game I can play.
Roger, you should have him come on your show every once in a while, huh? What do you think?
He is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got a specific title for John the Congressman?
You have to understand, up until Clubhouse changed their rules about allowing anonymous accounts that couldn't get kicked out of the room, John was one of the most unliked people on this app. Yeah, he was. And then what I reconciled was the idea that, because he streams the room, right? And a lot of people would complain and they would say, hey, you don't record the rooms, but it's being streamed. What could you do? So then it would be like, okay, we'll just kick them out. And now that you can't kick it out, it's like the app is saying that they want this to happen. So, you can't fight reality. It is what it is. So you just tell people, hey, look, these rooms are going to be streamed. It is what it is. And so, but we tried to fight it. John will tell you, we really tried to fight it.
Yeah, and I fought back a lot. I mean, I've really dedicated an insane amount of time to this app, creating accounts, creating rooms. I love to complain like Monica, but I know how much you love Monica. I love Monica too. Actually, the amazing thing is like when I hear the hate speech stuff and the random usage of profanity and constant random usage of profanity, that to me is just so like mind-numbingly brain damaging that I know that books are my salvation. And a lot of people profess, all or nothing positions, but they're not reading to me from a book. And I got to tell you, when I read a book, I am so impressed with how much more intelligent that communication is than what I hear on Clownhouse.
Yeah. Oh, look who's back.
I've always been here.
Oh.
So, have you repented, Rich?
No, I'll double down.
Damn.
I love that Monica doesn't know the truth.
Monica, because she comes in here just for a second, right? I think she's trying to tease you, Roger. She comes in for a little bit, teases you, and then she runs away like a little girl.
Well, then she goes into other rooms and like espouses like racist ideology. Something she hates black people.
Just true.
She does. Wait, you're new to this, right? Come on.
Oh my god.
You know that Monica hates black people?
Rich, let me.
Monica does not hate black people. This is ridiculous.
Okay. She thinks that white people are superior. Sorry.
She hates black people. Yeah. She hates white people too. How about that?
Go. She thinks white people are the greatest thing since sliced bread.
No. Hold on. I used to have a $500 bounty if anybody could have produced one single instance of a
screenshot of something that Monica said that was racist, or an audio clip of her saying something racist. And when I had that $500 bounty, nobody collected it. Nobody collected. In fact, the only person that tried to collect was Hakima. And Hakima, he PTR'd a photo that she had PTR'd where it was an image of a ghost and it said, "This is some bullshit." And Hakima said that the ghost with the sheet over it was clearly a reference to the KKK.
Oh, you guys aren't part of the Clubhouse or the Children's Discord. Sorry.